Okay, the rainfall for each of 10 days was measured. The results are summarised in the table below. Calculate an estimate for the mean daily rainfall for the 10 days. Okay, so looking at this table, what it's telling us is that on 4 days, the rain fell between 4.5 millimetres and 5.5 millimetres. On 2 days, it was between 7.5 and 8.5 and so on. And we're going to estimate the mean. The reason it's an estimate is because we don't know what the actual rainfall was on those 4 days. We only know that it lies between those values. So in order to make the estimate, we're going to use a midpoint. So we're going to use a midpoint, and I'm just going to put it by there. So the midpoint between 4.5 and 5.5 is 5. The midpoint between these is 6. The midpoint between these is 7. The midpoint between these is 8. Midpoint there is 9. Okay, those midpoints were easy to find, it was obvious. But if the numbers are harder and you need to find a midpoint, simply add them together and divide by 2. Okay, now we're going to multiply, because we're going to do the midpoint times by the frequency. Okay, number of days. So we've got 5 times 4 is 20, 2 times 6 is 12, 0 times 7 is 0, 8 times 2 is 16, and 9 times 2 is 18. Adding those up, what have we got? We got 10, 16, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 66. Okay. Right, to find the mean then, it's the sum of the observations, so it's sum of all the values, 66, divided by the number of values. Well, it was 10 days, and these, when you add them up, add up to 10 as well. So divide it by 10, 6.6. And I'm happy with that because it lies within these values, so that's a good check. And that's millimetres. Okay, now it's asking me to state the modal class. So that's the most popular interval. Well, looking down here, we can see that on 4 days, the most number of days we got that rainfall. So we're going to put that down as 4.5 to 5.5, like so, because at the highest frequency, and write down the class where the median lies. Okay, so the median, if you've got 10 values, we'll be looking at the 5th and the 6th value, because then we'll have 4 either side. So there's the first 4 values, okay? And then there's the next 2, so that takes us up to the 6th value. So the 5th and the 6th value both lie in there, so that's our answer. Now I know that some of you find that quite difficult, so I'm just going to give you an alternative method to help you. If you think of this as being the first 4 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 values there, and then we've got another 2 values there and 2 values there. And what some of you find easier is actually to count in using these, so that you can see where it falls, and then you'll see that it's those 2 in there. So both of those values are in there, and that's why it's that. Okay?